Yeah. Thank you for being here, number one. Number two, my question, I guess, is as someone who played some hockey as a kid, why do you think that ice hockey, professional ice hockey in general, doesn't get as much, let's say, credit as some of the other sports? Because I believe that ice hockey players are the best conditioned athletes compared to any professional sport. And if you haven't been on skates and played a game, I don't care if you're a professional basketball player, it's not the same thing. So I guess my question is, do you feel that way, or because you're in it, you don't really feel that?
I think when you look at the NFL, Major League Baseball, the NBA, and then there's probably MLS and hockey, where we kind of are those guys that don't get the same credit as these other sports. But I bump into people all the time that never had been to a live hockey game before. And if you've never been to a live hockey game, I really recommend you going and sit next to somebody that knows a little bit of the rules. I mean, there's not a lot of rules to hockey. I think people think it's very complicated. There's just really the blue lines on both, to go into either attacking zone, there's a blue line there. And the only thing that blue line means is that the puck has to cross that blue line before any of the attacking players, or they call it offside. And the other rule is just icing. If you throw the puck all the way down from behind the red line into the attacking zone and they get to the puck first, it's called icing. Other than that, I mean, there's little, tic-tac penalties and things like that. But when you see that and you understand just those simplistic rules, you can sit and watch the game, and then you can see the artistry behind handling the puck, the vision that it takes to be able to handle the puck and find the open man at the same time, the speed, the endurance. I mean, you look at and you talk about the conditioning. Our shift length, so the time that you're actually on the ice, is anywhere from like 45 seconds and to about a minute and 15. And sometimes it could be as little as 30 seconds to a minute and 15. Now, there are times you get stuck on the ice and you can't get off, and you're out there and your legs feel like a couple of lead weights. And it's very difficult because when you're on an 1/8 piece of steel, the only way you can move yourself up and down the ice is if you thrust yourself. It's a very difficult thing to do, and it takes a lot of conditioning to do it. So I agree with you. I think we are one of the top conditioned athletes in professional sports. I think over time, I feel like our sport is starting to go this way because our skill level is going up. I think the fighting has come down. I think people don't like that fighting aspect of our sport. Do I think it'll ever leave the sport? In some ways, for me to say this. I hope it doesn't. I think nobody's really gotten hurt that much typically when they get in a scrap. But we do have a way of policing ourselves in our sport. There's not a lot of trash talking out there. And if there is, you better back it up. And I've seen all through my years, I don't care how tough you think you are, you're gonna run into that day where you're not as tough as you think. And I think it's a metaphor to life, right? Don't always go into every situation thinking you know all the answers. And I think that's kind of what one of the beauty of our sports is. So I appreciate you saying that about hockey. And I hope, if you've never seen a game on this call, have a chance to go out and watch a hockey game, go for it.
Nothing better than live hockey, that is for sure. Paul, we're staying in Florida.